It's, Jensen, he does an amazing job saying what the market wants to hear. And then I guess it's about 4.5 hours from now. I think it's 6:30 Pacific time is when he speaks. We'll obviously learn a lot more. So I'm not concerned about what he's going to say. My concerns continue to be the same thing. Now it's a stock that's trading north of 18 times revenue, which historically is probably twice the valuation that companies like this deserve. At a certain point, they're not going to enjoy the 76% margins that they currently enjoy, and competition is coming. All those things are out there. The price action over the last, and Chris can speak to this, since that 128-ish low has been extraordinary, and here we are at all-time highs.
Well, Guy, I think we need to remember this is a stock that really all the price progress last year came in the first 6 months of the year. For a stock that was up nearly 200% last year, only 8% of it came after June. So this has been a long consolidation here on Nvidia. 150 is really the big level. We're right there. I do expect we'll close through it. We did make new relative highs versus the S&P today. So this is still a name that's very much involved in the leadership fabric of this market, as did Taiwan Semi. But I think almost equally as interesting is some of these beaten, broken down semis, which have been off the playing field for 6, 7, 8 months, have woken up here a little bit. AMAT, Lam Research. I think that's worthy of our attention.
Yeah.
So
you're long.
I am long. I've often thought that there's two parts to Jensen that are both amazing, both his technical prowess, right, and what they've built, which is extraordinary, and then his ability to guide the street, I don't know what you want to call it, lead the street.
Talk up the stock?
Talk up the stock, you could call it that. He's really good at that, and I think the bar is just getting higher and higher, but he does seem able to leap over the bar. I mean, I'd rather it not be up $5 going into this presentation tonight, but I'm staying long. I think we'll see February 26th. We'll have earnings, although maybe we'll have a better sense even before that.
Yeah, and I guess, I got a lot to say about this. The stock's going to continue to work as long as these sorts of events get, investors excited about what the roadmap is. And I think it's interesting that Christina said, all right, we're not even done talking about Blackwell. We're going to start talking about Rubin. So that's what he's really great at mapping that out. The flip side of that is, if they're able to continue to guide that 18 times sales that Guy just mentioned, probably won't matter that much if they keep raising the bar in the near term. But I'm more concerned about what Microsoft might have to say. They've been kind of loud over the last few weeks or so. If you go back 3 weeks ago, Satya Nadella was on the BGT pod. That is Brad Gerstner and Bill Gurley. He said that they are no longer chip constrained, they're power constrained. I thought that was really interesting. Microsoft is a 19% customer of Nvidia. We also know that Microsoft is working with the likes of Broadcom to do custom silicon. That's to diversify away from Nvidia chips, right? I think some of these guys are getting sick of the pricing power. To Guy's point about 76% gross margins, right? And then I go to today, there's a story out that, I think it was an information. They're going to spend $80 billion this fiscal year on infrastructure build out. Now, that's not all chips. That's a whole host of other things, okay? So let's see what that happens. The last thing I'll say is there's also a story that this Wisconsin data center that they're building out for their OpenAI relationship, they have stopped the second phase of the build out. Why? They said the recent changes in technology have caused them to kind of reassess the design of the facility. So I guess if you start to see some push outs in the builds of these data centers, if you start to see a slowdown in CapEx, which we're not going to get until the end of this month, I just think there's a lot of moving parts, but Microsoft is a great barometer at nearly a 20% customer.
I have a question for you. So Microsoft's saying that they're not chip constrained anymore. Why is that concerning as long as
because Blackwell demand is insane, is what Jensen told us.
But it can still be insane, even if Microsoft specifically is not chip constrained anymore, but others are picking up that demand.
If they're not chip constrained,
they can't get
that means that they have the capacity.
Well, they're the number one customer, though, so you would think that they would get supply.
When they want it.
By the way, I just said that the stock is going to, if they have this financial update tomorrow, it's basically a mid-quarter update, and things are fine, better than some people expected. To Chris's point, this stock has consolidated for months and months. There's been a move into Broadcom, into Marvell. This is the custom silicon sort of trade. That is a diversification away from Nvidia.
Or does the consolidation mean that it's going to move higher?